Danny and the Blue Cloud. Coping with Childhood Depression. Written by James M. Foley. Illustrated by Shirley Ng-Benitez. Danny was born under a blue cloud. He didn't know why, but sometimes the cloud made him cry. Some days, the cloud seemed as big as the whole sky. On those days, Danny didn't want to get out of bed and moved as slowly as turtles. Some days, Danny was one big growl. The other animals came to Danny's house to ask him to come out and play, but Danny's cloud felt heavy and dark. After a while, Danny didn't even go to the door when his friends came. He stayed in his room. Danny thought, I never run and climb and play. I must be the worst runner, climber, and player in the forest. When the Grand Forest Parade happened, he didn't go outside to watch. His mother said, That's all right, Danny. It's okay to stay inside. One day while Danny was sitting in his room, wham, bam, bebop, wham, bam, bebop, he opened the window just as Barnaby the rabbit landed on two huge feet. By Uncle Wally's whiskers, what are you doing inside on a nice day like today? Barnaby said. This is hopping, climbing, and playing weather. I have never played in the forest. Besides, I'm the worst runner, climber, and player in the forest, Danny said. If you've never climbed or played in the forest, how do you know that you are the worst climber and player in the forest? Come on outside. We need to talk. Danny boy, you need to be defunkified. Barnaby, what does defunkified mean? You need to feel better. Did you know that if you change the way you think, you can change the way you feel? Sounds like you are thinking about all the bad things and not the good things that are possible. Let's make a list of all the things that you can do. Okay, Danny boy, number 1. Danny mumbled himself and hopped on one paw and then once on the other. I can't, Danny hopped twice on one paw, then twice on the other. Danny hopped 3 times on one paw, then 3 times on the other. Stop, said Barnaby. While you were trying to think, you were doing some first-class hopping. As a rabbit, I'm an expert judge of hopping. And if you can hop, then you can dance. Let me see you hop again. Barnaby started to whistle a happy tune and clap along. All of a sudden, Danny felt his body start to move to the music. His arms and legs seemed to move all by themselves. Danny could hear the music in his head and felt like he was floating across the forest floor. Why shut my mouth and call me a carrot? Danny, you are not just a dancer, you are a boogie machine. Danny smiled. Danny, did you notice how you didn't feel like dancing and still you started dancing? Remember that tune? Hear the tune in your head and start dancing, even if you don't feel like it. Think, I am a great dancer and I feel better whenever I move my body. Thinking good thoughts about yourself is another good trick to feel better. Good thoughts make good feelings. Danny, remember these feel-good rules. Barnaby's feel-good rules. Think about good things instead of focusing on just the bad things. Think about what you can do and not what you can't do. Dance even when you don't want to dance. Moving makes you feel better. Think good things about yourself, even if it feels easier to think bad things. Danny danced and danced. He danced even when his cloud felt heavy. The more he danced, the better he felt. Soon, The animals noticed Danny dancing and wanted to learn. Danny taught Barnaby's bunny buddies to dance. He taught the raccoons, the weasels, and even the turtles. When Danny's blue card started to feel heavy and dark, he practiced Barnaby's feel-good rules. He thought about good things instead of focusing on just the bad things. He thought about what he can do and not what he can't do. He danced even when he didn't feel like it. He thought good things about himself. The blue cloud was beginning to change color. It became lighter and brighter. The more Danny danced and taught the other animals to dance, the brighter his cloud became. The grand forest parade and celebration would soon be happening. One day, the wise old owl and leader of the forest called all the animals together. The owl said, "This year's grand forest parade will be the biggest and best ever. It will be the most joyful because we will all dance. For all his hard work, I am naming Danny the Bear as the official forest dance instructor and grand marshal of the forest parade." All the animals cheered and raised Danny up on their shoulders. Just then, Barnaby shouted, "Danny, look up over your head!" Danny looked up and smiled. His cloud was shining with all the colors of the rainbow. Danny smiled because he had learned Barnaby's feel-good rules. He knew that he had the power to change the biggest, bluest cloud into a beautiful rainbow. And that is the end of our story, Danny and the Blue Cloud. Here you can see a note to parents and caregivers from the creators of the book about how you can use this story to help with childhood depression, utilizing cognitive behavioral therapy and supporting your child's treatment. Remember, take care of yourself.